See, did anybody pick up the printable? This is brand new to you tonight. Now, ladies, this has been on my to-do list probably for 6 months, okay? And I finally got to it. And I'm really proud of it because I created it myself. And it took a lot of work. But anyway, I'm super excited about it. You can go over to my blog at www.becreativestamping.com and read today's blog post, and you'll see the download. You can click it and print it, and then you're all ready to take notes. Gail, I am so happy that you printed your printable. Yay, Joy. Yay, Suzanne. I'm so happy you're using it. That makes me feel really good. And over time, if you keep those, you can put them in a notebook, all right? So, oh yay, I'm so glad you all printed them. That makes me so happy. Yay! Yeah, so Kisha, the Live in the Hive, that's what we're gonna call it now. It used to be Facebook Live, but we're gonna call this Facebook Live in the Hive from now on, okay? So we're definitely live in the Hive tonight. All right, so let me tell you a few things when you shop with me, okay? Whenever you place an order of $35 or more in my online store, you earn a bee. And when you've earned 10 bees, I email you at the end of the month and I let you know, and then you can redeem that for $35 in free product. You do pay shipping and tax on that, and I do remind you when your card is full. So I do keep the records for that, but you're welcome to keep the records for it if you want. Also, when you place a $35 order in my online store, you will receive the July 2021 tutorial. I'm part of the demo design dream team, and my project is in there. I'll give you a hint. It's a peach card, and there are 16 projects, ladies, and it's all using current product from the annual catalog, all right? It's called the Hope Box. It's going to be the August paper pumpkin. This box was created by Shelly, our co-founder and board chair. So anything to do with this box, Shelly has worked on. I think it's gonna be an amazing box. I'm gonna order 2 because I think I'm gonna wanna keep one and maybe give one as a gift. So if you've never done paper pumpkin, I would say subscribe by August 10th because you don't want to miss the August paper pumpkin. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. All right. So I did want to tell you about that. Now I think I've gotten through all the announcements. All right, let's look at cards. All right. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to show you what we're going to create tonight, and then I'm going to show you the entire suite. All right. All right. So let me switch on over here. And this is what we're going to be making tonight, and I'm going to zoom in for us. This was actually our hostess code for the month of July. So if you're a Hostess Club member and you weren't able to attend, you have the supplies to create this card right here, okay? So we'll make this one first. Hi, Terry. And then this one, I'm going to show you how this die works. And we're even going to cut one out, and I'm going to show you how to create this card. All right, so those are the 2 cards tonight. We will come back next Wednesday night and we'll make more cards with this suite. All right, because this suite, there's a lot you can do with it. All right, and if you purchase it, I want you to get your money's worth out of it. Well, ladies, thank you for the cards, for saying such nice things. Actually, this one is cased, and I'll tell you all about who I copied this from and give that demonstrator credit, okay? All right, so let's look and see what we've got here. this is the printable. Everybody's got that. All right. Thank you, Adrian. So good to have you. All right. So let's look in the catalog first. We're on pages 96 and 97. And I can already tell you, when I received the new annual catalog and I saw the cover of this book, I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I gotta have it. I mean, it is just gorgeous. And I'm thinking maybe next week we'll even make this card, because this is a really, really pretty card. So I'm so glad you enjoyed making it, Gail. I don't know when the paper will be back in stock, Laura. I'm not able to look right now, and I know you're a demonstrator. So Laura, if you log into the demonstrator website and go to the inventory status report, there should be a date, okay, telling you when it's due in the warehouse, okay? All right, so this suite's got lots of goodies. This is what the stamp set looks like. These shaded pieces here, okay, let's see, it's this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. They can be cut out with dies, and I'm gonna show you the dies, okay? So let me do that. This is the actual stamp set right here. And I've actually added the dies to the inside of the container. This particular stamp case is from Stamp & Storage. I don't use these for all my stamps, but when I have dies that go with a particular stamp set, then I try and put it with it, okay? So I don't have to go look for the die set. So this is what the dies look like, and now I'll show you what they look like when they're cut out, because it just looks so completely different. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so there is a die that cuts this out. Isn't this beautiful? And we're going to do this tonight. This is a flower, and there's a die to cut it out. Then there are 3 flowers, and those 3 flowers are on one stamp, okay? So it's just one stamp, and then when you cut it out, you cut out all 3 at one time. And that was yesterday's Be Creative Tip Tuesday on my Facebook page. Here are leaves that can be stamped and cut out. This is the center of the flower, and this is the flower. And I'm gonna teach you, there is a technique on how to create the flower so that it will look like that, okay? And then here is the other die. Isn't that beautiful? I used adhesive sheets to adhere these to the cardstock, and I'm going to show you how to do that tonight, okay? But wanted you to see the dies. They're pretty amazing. And the other thing is the, all right, y'all are going to have to help me again. The ephemera pack. Ephemera pack. I think I'm saying it correct. I've never heard of this word before. My daughter is an English major, and so I asked her what it meant, and she goes, well, put it in a sentence. And I'm like, well, I really can't. It's an embellishment. And she said, well, usually that word, ephemera, means, you know, gold accents. So that made total sense because it is gold accents. So let me show them to you. Now, what I like about this particular pack of gold accents is you get several sheets of the same thing. So I think there are 6 sheets of these. I think that's what I counted the other day. All right. So that's what it looks like. You've got a leaf here, 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 here. So that's what they look like. And then I'll show you some of these shapes that have fallen out. All right. Now the best way to store these shapes once they've fallen out and once your package has torn, I use one of our clear envelopes and put all the pieces in. So these are just some of the accent pieces that can be used, and look how they all just separate. So, I mean, there's just a lot of goodies here. We're going to use some of it tonight, and we'll use some of it next week too, all right? So that you can get an idea on how to use this, all right? Okay. So let's go ahead, and we're going to start with this card right here. And I'm actually going to bring in, oh, you know what? I forgot to show you the designer paper. You have to see that. Okay, let me back up. And now we'll look at designer paper because this is a must. This is one of the pieces right here. And I'm going to zoom out so you can really see all of it. It is currently on back order. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, the item number for the gold pieces. Hang on, Laura. It's 155465. Okay. That's the item number for the ephemera pack. All right. So here's this piece. Do you see the gold accents in it? And look at this side. As far as the price, Laura, I want to say it's $7. Okay, it is $7. Here is another piece of the designer paper. And here is the back of it. All right, so you have this watercolor look. Oh, Carol's going to give me the definition. Ephemera is defined as items of collectible memorabilia, typically written or printed ones, that were originally expected to have only one short-term usefulness or popularity. I had no idea, Carol. Thank you so much for enlightening me because I needed that. Thank you. All right, look at this piece of paper. This has gold accents in it, okay? And then the opposite side is right here. Okay, so you get gold accents on one side and you get the watercolor look on the other. Here's another piece with gold accents. And for those of you who are demonstrators, can we still order this paper or is it in non-orderable status? I know it's on back order, but I am not sure. On Monday, I could order it because I know some of my customers got it and I ordered it for them. All right, now here is another beautiful piece. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? And then look at the opposite side of that with the gold in it. Now this piece, we're using this tonight on the card, and I did use this in Hostess Clubs. And so I only have the one sheet. See the gold foil in there? This is specialty paper. The retail is $15 because it has the gold in it. Isn't that lovely? So that's the paper. It's just to die for. It is so yummy. Okay, now we can get started on our card. And we're actually gonna use the Stamparatus tonight for this technique. Now this technique can be found on the Stampin' Up! Facebook page, and that's the official Facebook page for Stampin' Up! One of the artisan design team members, her name is Tammy, T-A-M-I, Hewlett, H-E-W-L-E-T-T, showed us or demonstrated this technique on the Facebook page, all right? And I thought it was so cool, and I wanted to try it. All right. So, and let me get the right paper here. We're going to use this piece, and I just need it big enough so that it covers everything that I am stamping. So I think if we put it about right there, we're gonna be good. Let's see if I can still do that. Nope, gotta move that. Hang tight. All right. There we go. All right, that should work. I'm gonna pull the paper down a little bit because I do need to cut these with dies, okay? Hi, G-Ann. Hello, hello from Oregon. I know the paper is amazing. All right, I'm gonna zoom in, okay, so you can see what I'm doing. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to ink the stamp in Pale Papaya, okay? So let me slide this down so you can kind of see me inking it. This right here is my fluorescent light, okay? All right. Now I'm going to ink up. I'm actually going to ink both of them. I'm going to ink the center and the stamp itself with Pale Papaya. Then I am going to take one of our blending brushes. All right, I kept the bag so that I could put that in there. We're going to use polished pink. And to use this, we are going to take the brush and we're going to make a swirling motion, all right? And then we're gonna rub the center of that flower. And I'll even pounce a couple of times on the little one, all right? So let's see what happens. The beauty of this is we're using the Stamparatus. So if we don't get the desired color that we want, that's okay. We can restamp. So there we are. I would like this a little bit darker. Oh, thank you, Sue. You can order the paper and it looks like it's available on August 2nd in the warehouse, okay? August 2nd, warehouse. All right, so it's not too bad. At least we can still order it. And August 2nd is what, 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away? I'm gonna add some more color here, okay? I'm not gonna add it to the little one because I'm pretty happy with the little one. And we're gonna go back and we're gonna do that again. All right, I'm sitting down and so I'm kind of pressing on this to make sure that I get a nice impression. If I were standing up, the impression would probably be totally different. So here we are. I'm actually really happy with the flower except right there. And so I am going to take Pale Papaya and I'm gonna add it right in that area. I must not be getting enough ink in that one area. So let's do that again. Or maybe I'm just not pressing. Kind of hard to tell. Aha, there we go. So I'm gonna just zoom in because I want you to get a nice good look at this flower, all right? And this is a Stamparatus technique that you can use, okay? And I use Pale Papaya ink, and then I use the polished pink for the brush, all right? Okay, and it looks like the bundle, the expressions, the Artistically, I can't think of the name of the bundle, it's something artistic. Artistically inked bundle. That will be available July 19th. So if you're interested in that bundle, go ahead and order it. So, all right. Yes, they were out. And Brenda, I know you're a demonstrator. You can log into the website and go to the inventory status report and find out what's going on with the blending brushes. Okay, I'm not able to get to that information right now. Okay. All right, so I'm happy with this. This is what we're gonna use. Isn't this fun? And again, this technique was on the official Stampin' Up! Facebook page. The artist and designer was Tammy Hewlett, all right? I'm gonna clean this stamp before I close my Stamparatus. That way I don't get ink all over the grid. Not that it matters. When I clean with the Stamparatus, when I clean stamps on the Stamparatus, I like to cut this simple chamois in half or in a quarter and clean this way instead of using the big piece, okay? Because if you think about it, let me show you the big one. If you use this, it's pretty hard to clean, right? Isn't that pretty hard to clean that stamp really well? So I like to take one of my chamois and cut it up, and it makes it so much easier for me to clean, okay? And so now that is clean, and we can put that away. All right, so I will move that. Okay, we're gonna also need to stamp some leaves. So we're gonna do that with Pear Pizzazz tonight. And we're going to use the double leaf, all right? And I will put it about right here. And I should have ample room for cutting all 3 items out, okay? And while we're at it, we're gonna stamp a few more things, and we're actually gonna stamp and cut something for the next card. This right here goes here, all right? So let me give you the measurement for this, all right? This goes on the card, and it's measuring 3.5 inches across and 4 inches down. All right, 4 inches. So it's 3.5 by 4. We will be adding some designer paper, but right now we're gonna add a flower, and we're gonna do that in Pale Papaya. And we're gonna add the smaller flower. And I'm gonna put it high enough so that I can see it, even after I put that strip of designer paper going across, okay? Hi, Mana, welcome. We're so glad you made it. Glad you made it, girl. All right, we're gonna stamp one more of these. Let me get some paper for that. And I'm just gonna stamp that there. It's going to get cut out. And I wanna do all my cutting at one time, okay? All right. And as a matter of fact, we are going to need another one of those big flowers that I just remembered. So let me get the paper for that. I think we're gonna use that right there. And this time we're just going to ink our flower in polished pink. And I think, will that work? Nope, we gotta move this up. I just need the big flower. I'm not going to need the center, okay? All right. Adrian, sweets and paper are unavailable. Can you order it? Is it in orderable status? I should have looked tonight, ladies, before coming on, and it didn't occur to me. All right, that's gonna work. So, hi Sally, welcome. All right, this is polished pink, and I want a polished pink flower. And so I'm gonna stamp this. Now, if you're just using one color, you could certainly put your flower on a block. Mine just happens to be part of the Stamparatus tonight, so I just left it on there, okay? So this is what the flower looks like when you stamp it in one color. And this is polished pink, all right? Okay, I think, oh, we're almost ready for cutting. We have one more thing that we're gonna do. And you know what? I think we'll do that with the second card. All right, but let's go ahead and get our dies out. We're going to need the large die for the flower, and then we need the smaller die for the other flower, the center, and then this is the die for the leaves, okay? Yes, Cindy, you need to. Oh, you're so welcome. You are so welcome. I'm glad I could inspire you. All right, so now we're ready. I'm gonna zoom out and I'm gonna bring in the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, okay? All right, so here it is. And I'm gonna open it up. I'm on a foldable table, so it's gonna shake a little bit. I apologize. We are just cutting the paper out, and so we're gonna use platform 1 and 2 and 3 Then we're going to add this flower. And this flower is super easy to line up. It is so easy. All right, I was worried about that. I thought this was going to be one of those tough ones, but it works fine. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the top on, and then we're going to roll it through. All right, and that's going to be for our big flower. Okay. Okay, so now it can't be ordered. I'm so sorry. I'm demonstrating something that can't even be ordered. Look how beautiful that turned out. Just put it on your printable, put I must have. And so when it becomes available, you can order it. All right, so I'm going to turn this one around here. Let's see. It would probably help if I just looked at the shape. All right, there we go. So I'm just kind of sliding this one into place. And I'm going to go ahead and add the die for the leaves. All right. And we're going to roll that through. And y'all remember my technique. You just, roll it through, hold your breath, and pray nothing moves, right? All right, tried and true. Most of the time it does work. So here are my leaves right here. And here's my flower. And now I'm going to roll it through again. You don't have to roll it back through. I just do that. Now we're going to get this little piece right here, and that's going to be the center of the flower, and we really only need one of those. Okay. All right. This thing is so smooth and so quiet. Okay, so there's my center. Put that there, and one more piece to cut, and it happens to be our flower. And let's see, I think this goes this way maybe. Let's see, but these are super easy shapes to cut. They're easy to line up. All right. And that's going to be our last piece for now. With the second card, we will bring the machine back in and do something else. Okay. All right, so let's bring the card back in. And let's go ahead and we're going to start with our card base. Now, our card base is 4 1/4 inches across, and it's 11 inches long, okay? Carol, I'm even impressed with my die cutting. I just literally hold my breath. That's what I do. All right, so let me get the bone folder here so we get a nice crisp score line, all right? And we're actually going to add a background, and this is a super cool stamp. Look at that. And that's part of this stamp set, okay? So let's get out the polished pink, because that's what we're using. And it doesn't, there is no top or bottom, okay? All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stamp down the side, all right, to create that background. All right, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. All right, then we'll do this side. And we'll do that side. All right, so that's our background using this stamp, okay? So it's really cool. It's kind of like a marbled look, isn't it? And it kind of resembles the designer paper style too. All right, our next piece is going to be the designer paper. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit so you see the full card. Now this card was cased by a demonstrator named Rose Grunwald, okay? And her blog is called Country Cards by Rose. And so I happened to see this on Pinterest and I really liked it. Let's see. Gail is asking about, is there something special we should do to wash our blocks? Are you talking about the block or the actual stamp, Gail? Let me know which one you're talking about. We're going to add this to the center. And so this is 2.5 inches wide. And it's going to be 5.5 inches long. All right, and that's going to fit the card base, okay? Hi, Anita, welcome. Yeah, rubbing alcohol does work well on blocks. I'll also, sometimes you get adhesive on your blocks or little sticky pieces, and that always seems to happen to mine. So I'll take Goo Gone and a tiny, tiny little bit of a paper towel, put some Goo Gone on it and rub the block and get the adhesive off. And that works really well. And then I wash them like in Dawn dishwashing detergent, that sort of thing. So, and then I dry them, you know, so they don't have spots on them. But yeah, rubbing alcohol also works very well. All right, I am going to use my grid paper right here, okay, so that I line this up. Hang tight. I want to line this up just right. All right. And I think I'm going to put it about right there. Okay, and hopefully that is going to be lined up. Yep, I think that's good. Okay, sorry, I had to look at that one. And my paper's a little bit longer than my card base. And I'm going to trim right along that edge to get rid of that excess designer paper. Okay, sometimes that happens, you know, when you use different paper cutters. All right, so the first part is done, and that is the background for that. And now we're going to work on this piece, okay? And we're going to need the word hello and the polished pink, okay? And we are going to add some designer paper strips. For example, we're going to put one right along here. So we want to be sure that we add the hello low enough so that it doesn't interfere with the designer paper, okay? Hi, Dawn, welcome. So I know that needs to go about right there. So I'm gonna put the hello about right there, okay? And my hello is a tiny bit crooked, but that's okay. It is handmade, not made in China, right? You're gonna need 2 strips of designer paper. Hi, Elaine. And it measures 1/2 inch wide by 3.5 inches. Are you all using your printable? Are you writing on your printable? I hope so. I hope you find it very useful. All right, I'm looking for my adhesive. Here it is. Right along here. And then I'm gonna add it here. And I'm just gonna go straight across. I'm sorry you can't even see me. I am just zoomed in so close. Okay, now we're gonna add the smaller strip. Okay. And we're gonna add this one at the bottom, and that flower is gonna show through just a little bit, okay? Now at this point, I'll go ahead and add my ribbon because that'll kind of be my guide for where I put the flower, okay? I'm so happy, Nancy. That is awesome. So glad y'all are using it. All right. And I'm just putting a knot here, okay? And that'll go right above that designer paper, and then you can see that flower just a tad. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. Oh, you don't want to mess up the printable, huh? I love it. All right. And let's go ahead and cut that on the diagonal too. All right, so now we know that we have that done. By the way, this is in color ribbon. It's polished pink, and if you purchased my in color share box this year, you have 2.5 yards of this, okay? So, you know, you don't even have to look any farther. You have some. All right, so now I'm going to add my flower and my leaves, and guess what, girls? I'm gonna pop all of it up. Can you believe it? I know you're shocked. I know you're totally shocked that I'm popping everything up. All right. Gosh, I don't know if you can hear my family, but they're pretty noisy this evening. It's only 2 of them downstairs, but they are a bit loud. All right, so I think that's gonna take care of the dimensionals. Oh, so Pam, over on my blog, www.becreativestamping.com, you can go there and download a printable and print it, and then you can write and take notes, okay? All right, so I'm gonna put the flower about right there. I know, Sharon, you must come back and watch. Absolutely. All right, now we're gonna add the leaves. You gotta watch the rest of it, right? And then we're gonna add that center, all right? And I don't know if there is any right or wrong as far as the center goes, all right? So I just kind of pop it on there wherever I want, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals. So let's continue with this one so I can finish it up. Okay. And now I'm going to add this to the base of the card. Isn't the flower pretty? Sharon, you have to go back and watch the replay for the flower. We did that with, we created the flower with the Stamparatus. So you're going to have to go back and check it out because it's a pretty cool technique. All right, now let's add some bling. All right, we are going to add some Wink of Stella, don't worry. This is a big piece of bling right here, so I'm going to put that one there. And then these are the Gilded Gems, and they're in the annual book. Love these things. And I'm going to pull this out. And I think I'll take that one, and then I'm going to take an itty bitty one. And pull that off, and I'll put it right there. All right. So that's the embellishments. I want to slide this in. I know the flower is super pretty. And it's funny because every time you create the flower, it's going to be different every single time. It's just so unique. All right. You know what I'm doing? I am cutting this, and I'm gonna put it with the other embellishments. I had one left on that sheet, all right? Am I using Jacqueline's dimensionals? I hope not. Miss Jacqueline's not even watching tonight. I have not seen her yet. Oh gosh. All right, so let's add a gold accent, all right? So that means I have to go over here, and I think I'm gonna add this one. All right, I love these. Okay. Put that over there. And I'm gonna tuck this in with a glue dot. So I'm just gonna put that glue dot right there. And I'm gonna lift this up, and I'm gonna put that there. okay? And then I'm gonna take Wink of Stella. I know, Carol. I know, mine always end up flying across the room too. Oh gosh. All right, so I'm adding some Wink of Stella here, okay? I don't know how well you can see that, but I am starting to see a bit of glimmer. I'll definitely get that center. Let's see. You know, and it may be that I'm running out. There's still some in there, but now what I should have done, ladies, I should have done my Wink of Stella before this gold, and I did not do that. All right. So as you can see, even if you forget, you can go back and do that. Okay. So add a little more Stella here. I think I just had to get my pen going. All right. Oh, I'm so glad you like the card. Isn't that pretty? It really is a sweet card. And you can see that other little flower peeking through down there. See that? So this will go home with someone tonight. All right. So you want to stay to the end to see if you win. All right. Okay. So there it is. And this was the original. Okay. So, and look how both flowers just turned out differently. I mean, every time you create it, it's going to be different, which is pretty daggone cool. All right. Okay. So I'm going to move this tray out of the way and get the next one. I am so glad you all like it. Yeah, Diane made this card on Friday. She couldn't part with it. Is it similar to another pink we already have from Stampin' Up? It might be similar to Lovely Lipstick, Joy, but Lovely Lipstick is retired. It wasn't in color. And it was a little bit darker, I think, but maybe Magenta Madness would be close. You could try Magenta. Oh, try Melon Mambo. All right. Go with, if you don't have polished pink, try Melon Mambo with it. Try Magenta Madness, and I think you'll be happy with those. Okay. Good question. All right. So yeah, if you missed the first part of the video tonight, do go back and hit the replay so that you can see how to do the technique, okay? The measurements were not on Pinterest, Laura, so I did make up the measurements. I just kind of guessed where they should be, okay? Ooh, add a little alcohol to your Wink of Stella to extend its life. Carolyn, I had no idea. Oh my gosh, no idea at all. That's cool. All right, let me find the card, ladies. That's the card we just did. Now I need to find our next card. Oh, here it is. It's hiding. All right. So our next card really packs a punch, but it's super, super easy to do. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about this die and we're going to get that cut out. Okay. And I'm just grabbing some water. Y'all can grab a screenshot. Hi, Abby. Welcome. Okay, if you'd like to win this card tonight, you do need to comment, okay? So if you're new, get that comment in, all right? Okay, so here is the intricate die that created this, all right? And I'm going to show you how to use this die as well as how to use this die, all right? And I highly recommend the adhesive sheets. Our adhesive sheets are in the annual catalog. They are item number 152334. You get 12 of these, and they're 6 inches by 12 inches, all right? And this will last you a really long time, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our paper out. Let's see. We're actually going to be cutting this out in the gold foil. And so I just cut a piece of gold foil that would fit the die, okay? And if you want, the die is very intricate. It's 4 inches by 4.5 inches, all right? So that's pretty much what you're gonna need for that. And of course, this will lay on top to cut it out, but I wanna show you how to add the adhesive, okay? I know, Sandy, that the paper's unbelievable. It's supposed to be in, someone told us tonight, Sandy, end of July or the first part of August, so it'll be in shortly, okay? Hi, Sue. All right, these are some adhesive sheet scraps that I have, and I'm gonna use them. Now, the reason I'm using these scraps is I wanna show you that you don't even have to cut a piece of adhesive to fit this, okay? You can use scraps, all right, which is what we're doing. So I'm gonna take your pick tool around, and I'm gonna kind of lift up on this to get the paper off. Okay, so that's what I did. I'm just kind of peeling that back. I just kind of poked a hole in it so that I could peel it back. And then I'm gonna add that here. Okay, so you see how I'm piecing this together? I wish this wasn't white. So I've got scrap paper here and a long piece here. And so now I'm going to get out a sheet, and this is going to be a full length sheet. And if you're a demonstrator and if you're teaching, let's say if you're teaching about 25 or 30 people, one package of adhesive is going to work, okay? It's amazing how far it goes, okay? All right, I've got another square here. So what I want to do is I need to cut some. So I'm going to cut straight across. Now, what you may not have noticed is, do you see these segments? There's a line here, and there's a line here, and that's where you peel your paper. And so I cut across so that it would be easy for me to peel that off. And I'm gonna lay it right there. Okay, so this is a piece that's not covered. Let's see if I'm really gonna need it. You know what? I think I can get by without that, without adhesive being there. All right, so let me show you what happens. I'm gonna turn this over because I have to cut on the cardstock or foil side, okay? I don't wanna cut on top of the adhesive. And I'm just kind of looking through here to see, yeah, see, I think that'll work. I'm positioning this so that the empty piece is over here. All right, where I don't have adhesive, it's in this corner, okay? So we are actually ready to cut this out. And this is where I'm gonna bring in the Stampin' Cut emboss machine. I'm gonna zoom out. I am going to lay the die right here, okay? I'm going to add cutting plate 3, and we're gonna roll it through, all right? Yeah, the detailed dies are beautiful. Okay, now that's gone through. Now this is what I like to do. I like to roll it back through again. I just wanna make sure that I'm cutting because I put adhesive on the back, and sometimes that can be kind of thick. It adds another layer to your cutting. So I definitely want to be sure. Now I want you to look, and it looks like everything has been cut through. But something else I like to do, I think we went through like this, so I like to rotate it and roll again. Okay, and maybe cut something that maybe didn't get cut before, okay? And I probably only need to do that once. And there it is. Isn't that beautiful? So the Stampin' Cut emboss machine does a really nice job of that. Okay. Now, look, this fell right off. So you can tell it was cut really well. Oh, you're welcome, Nancy. Oh, gosh. Yeah, once you get used to the adhesive sheets, they're amazing. And it's amazing how you can use the little scraps. Like this right here, I mean, I can use this on my next project, no matter how small or how big it is, okay? So yeah, I really like those. So here we are, everything's been cut out, and I want to find a place to lift up. And so usually one of these little guys, yeah. So I just touch that to lift that up. Okay, so not too many pieces are coming out. So something else you might want to do is, before pulling it off, go ahead and poke out big pieces, okay? And most of the time they will just fall right out. Also, when you go to pull the adhesive off, that is going to help too. That's going to get a lot of those little pieces. But for now, I'll just go through, poke out some of the big pieces. Okay, like that. All right. And then I'll just go on and pull the rest off. I'm going to move this to the side. And then this is when I would take the time to pull out some more of these pieces. And look how they're just kind of just coming right out, okay? Now something else, these little dots in the centers, okay? Yes, Anita. Anita says, thank you for the idea to turn the die. I've had some areas that did not cut. Anita, that happens to me too. And so I roll it forward, roll it backward, turn it, do all kinds of things to make sure I get a super nice cut. All right, so you see those little dots there? They might just come out when I peel the adhesive off. But something else I like to do, I like to poke from the back if I'm using the adhesive sheets, okay? Because when you poke this way, sometimes that adhesive wants to stick to the flower, okay? So I kind of do both, all right? But I have found that if I poke from the front, if I poke it from the back, then it doesn't want to stick. And I hope that makes sense. So, all right. So here we go. You know what? I'm going to continue with this one. I had cut one tonight that was completely done. But just want to show you. I'm sorry. I'm not in the camera, am I? So, ooh, I think I stabbed myself that time. Now, when I go to peel the adhesive sheet off, a lot of this is going to fall out, okay? So I can probably just stop now, all right? I have these leaves to do, and a lot of that will pull out of there. So let me get rid of that. I do need to set this aside, though, because we're going to finish our card before we add that, okay? So let's do that, and we'll come right back to this piece. So here's the card, and the first two pieces of cardstock is shaded spruce, and this is measuring 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and then it's scored at 4 1/4. You fold that, you get your card base, and then I've got little gold things sticking to me. This is pale papaya, and this layer, this is a cardstock layer, it's going to be 4 1/8, and then 5 3/8, okay? So there you go. I probably should have told y'all to do 2 printables tonight, 1 for each card. And that never occurred to me. All right, so we're going to add adhesive here. And we're just going to center it onto the shaded spruce card base. All right, right here. Okay, and then we're going to add, and did I not? Let's see if I can find I'm going to show you what I did here, and we're going to actually get into this next week. I'm going to go into detail next week on how to cut your paper and get 6 cards out of it. So first of all, this is a sheet of 12 by 12, and I'm just going to show you kind of how I did this. I don't know if that's the one or not. Next week, I'm going to show you how to cut your designer paper, okay? There we go. I'm going to show you how to cut your designer paper so that you get 6 panels, okay? And those 6 panels, there we go. And I've already used one of these panels, okay? So next week, I'm going to show you how to cut it. I'll give you the measurements, and then you can make 6 cards with it. Let's use this one. This should be really interesting looking. All right, and it looks like I do need to cut it. So let me get my paper trimmer. We're going to cut this at 4 inches, which it's already on 4. Let me zoom in a little bit. And then 5 1/4. Okay, 5 1/4. We're going to trim that off, and we just might use it on this card. Okay, this is the leftover paper. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's see. Let's finish putting the card together, and then we'll mount it to the card base. All right, let me just grab a sip of water. Okay. Now you'll remember that we've already stamped the flower for the card, and we've already stamped the smaller flower for the card, okay? So at this point, we're ready to peel this, and we're going to stick it to these flowers. Now, these flowers do not line up perfectly, okay? So I don't want you to stress over that, okay? You just line it up the best you can, but they do not fit perfectly, and they just weren't designed to do that, okay? All right, so now we're going to peel this off and see if there is anything that we need to poke out. All right, so see what happens when you peel off the paper from the adhesive. A lot of these little things will come out, okay? And that's what happened there. All right, so let's see what else. All right, oh, my Aunt Ethel is watching tonight. Hello, hello. I just love it when my family watches. All right, so we've done all of that. Here's another piece. Now, it's hard for you to see where I'm picking up the adhesive paper and pulling it off, but when you do this at home, you're going to be able to see it, okay? You can see that adhesive paper. So this came off with some of the little pieces, and I have one little piece here. I'm going to poke that out, and that might be it. I have something right here. Do you see that? So I'm going to get that out. Come on. I have this one little... Good, got it. Okay, so I did it, okay? There it is. So it's not too bad, is it? That was not really hard at all. So yes, I know, Adrian, I'm hoping this suite should be in stock when celebration begins, okay? It should all be back by then. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna add this flower. And I think I'm just gonna put it about right there. Okay, see that? So that's where I've added it. And then I've got the big one here. So you're just gonna kind of place it where you want it. I don't know if I like it there, so hang tight. The other nice thing about our adhesive sheets, they are very forgiving. So if you stick it to something, you can actually pick it back up. And I tell you what I like to do. Instead of me holding this, I'm going to put it there. And I am going, I'll just put it right there. Okay, so now you can see where I have put both flowers, okay? Yes, Nancy, do it. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're going to give it a try this weekend. Okay, so now we're ready to adhere this. Do you see how these two flowers are overlapping? So I think they did that on the first card too. Okay, so they're overlapping a little bit. I'm going to add the seal here. And there is no top or bottom to this die, so you can put this wherever you want. And I'm going to stick mine about right here, okay? All right, so that's where I'm going to put it. And then I'm going to use some of our baker's twine and just wrap a little embellishment around here. I'm going to do this twice. So let me do this second one here. All right. And then I'm going to wrap it around here. Hopefully I've cut enough to tie a bow. I think I have. All right, so here we go. Put that there. All right. Now, I've got to make this smaller. All right. And I'd like to make it a little smaller if I can. Yep. All right. And then I'm going to tape this to our card base. Okay. Now, if you're brand new tonight, watching for the first time, you're going to be sure to say hello, okay? Tell us where you're from. We are going to have a drawing, and it depends on your comments as to whether your name is drawn or not, okay? So you're definitely going to want to comment. This, let's fix that. This right here is a piece of the designer paper, and we're actually going to use it on the card. And we're going to use Shaded Spruce. And you know, we didn't talk about the words much in the stamp set, but you have 4 greetings. Hello, best wishes, thanks, and happy birthday. All right. I'll put a little happy birthday on here. Oh, the designer paper is gorgeous, Billy. Absolutely gorgeous. We're all talking about how this suite is on back order. And on Monday, I could order the bundle and the paper. And now I think it's in non-orderable status. So, Adrienne, we're so happy to have you tonight from Ohio. Where in Ohio? Because we have some watchers from Ohio. And my daughter lives in Cleveland. So, all right. So here I can put the birthday greeting here. I could even put it down here if I want. Gosh, I'm kind of tempted to put it down here so that you can see the beautiful flower. You know, I think I am. I'm going to put it below so that we can see that intricate flower. All right, so that's the card.